Great day, everyone. I was inspired by a lady through my FB Messenger to prepare a scripture meditation to encourage somehow anyone who watch out there. Just to let you know that my whole family is also undergoing this heightened quarantine, and we are all contributing in our fight to win and eliminate the spread of the virus. Let me invite you to read the Holy Scripture found in the book of Isaiah chapter 26, verses 20 to 21. Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed by. See, the Lord is coming out of his dwelling to punish the people of the earth for their sins. The earth will disclose the bloodshed on it. The earth will conceal its slain no longer. I thank Reverend Ramil P. Allen, who passed this verse to me a few days ago, and I added verse 21 to complete our meditation. Through our scripture meditation, I read backward for its background from the previous chapters. Take note that the prophet Isaiah prophesied so many times against other countries, and then he prophesied about Jerusalem in chapter 22. Then he prophesied on the Lord's devastation of the earth in Isaiah chapter 24, verses 1 to 3. See, the Lord is going to lay waste the earth and devastate it. He will ruin its face and scatter its inhabitants. It will be the same for priest as for people, for the master as for his servant, for the mistress as for her servant, for seller as for buyer, for borrower as for lender, for debtor as for creditor. The earth will be completely laid waste and totally plundered. And then the prophet Isaiah turned to prophesying of song of praise to Judah in chapter 26, where the specific instruction in verse 20 was indicated. The prophet explained the reason for the Lord's devastation of the earth. To refresh us from previous months, or referring from last year's discovery of the novel coronavirus 2019, came the unexpected that it would become pandemic or over the world. What happened to the people in the media when Dr. Li Wenliang, 34 years old, leaked the news about the virus? His news blog literally spread all over the world as he died on February 6, 2020 due to the suspected virus. Fear and panic also spread. Many believed it. Some ignored it. A few got away and carelessly spread it without knowing the effect of the outbreak. Now I may be a little bit judgmental in my statement about a few, but anyway, the virus was not contained and it got away overseas and turned into pandemic. I don't know where the virus came from, who cultured this virus as rumors went out, and for what purpose does this virus was intended to accomplish. Round 1. People in the media went into searching for answers, and each time anyone finds something, it is published. There were so many who claimed to have gotten the right information. Each one raced to publish his or her own speculation. They were very quick in their search, very confident sharing their personal opinions how the actual virus spread out, and they all succeeded. The message brought out all over the world. Round 2. When the virus spread overseas and became pandemic, people in the media went into searching for answers, and each time anyone finds something, it is published. There were so many who claimed to have gotten the right information. Each one raced to publish his or her own discovery. They were very quick in their search, very confident sharing their personal opinions, how the cure of the virus is administered, and they all succeeded. The message brought out all over the world. Round 3. Lo and behold, everyone all over the world is in panic because now nothing works. But the good news is, there were infected and have survived, although there is already an uncontainable situation worldwide. Let me invite you to go back to the Holy Scripture, the Lord's devastation of the earth in Isaiah chapter 24 verses 1 to 3. See, the Lord is going to lay waste to the earth and devastate it. He will ruin its face and scatters its inhabitants. It will be the same for the priest as for people, for the master as for his servant, for the mistress as for her servant, for seller as for buyer, for borrower as for lender, for debtor as for creditor. The earth will be completely laid waste and totally plundered. The prophecy is happening in verse 1 and 2, and if this virus cannot be contained, then comes verse 3. The earth will be completely laid waste and totally plundered. Honestly, I feel the same. I am terrified while reading this prophecy. It is getting fulfilled day after day. I feel nervous. I am very much worried, and I am very much stressed, thinking ahead of what might come later if the world cannot contain this virus. In Isaiah chapter 26 verses 20 to 21 provides us clear instruction from the Lord when he said, "Go, my people, enter your rooms, and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed by. See, the Lord is coming out of his dwelling to punish the people of the earth for their sins. The earth will disclose the blood shed on it. The earth will conceal its slain no longer." Amidst this pandemic, panic, and pitiful situation, let us consider the following points and participate in this worldwide battle against an unseen, scary foe. First, what am I going to do? According to the Holy Scripture, in verse 20, "Go, my people, enter your rooms." There is a need for us to enter in our rooms. Stay home, stay inside our houses. B, and shut the doors behind you. The hardest job ever asked of us is this: to do nothing but to stay home. For those who have jobs, good for them, for they receive their 50-30 salaries. Staying at home for several days means a lot of vacation and rest day. For those who have daily job, very bad for them, for they cannot stay home as they needed to go out and work for a living. For those who have no work, most desperate situation, because when the daily job is put on hold, their scraps is also put on hold. Letter C, hide yourselves for a little while. Shutting the doors behind you is quite a bit challenging, but when it says, hide yourselves for a little while, it means no visitation. It's not a vacation, but it calls for a serious attention. This is not a drill as a military commander would address his soldiers. Why am I telling this? Because most people have taken these simple commands lightly, but instead they went into parties, vacation, celebration, etc. They literally went on doing at their own risks, which put the whole world at risk. Secondly, how long will I stay behind doors? That's the question. Before the Bible answers this question, let me remind you that it is better to stay behind doors than to stay behind bars. Due to people's aggressiveness, madness, rudeness, stubbornness, and selfishness, they committed the worst violation against this simple command. Instead of staying home, they stay outside. The government have prepared a contingency plan while they too have already prepared the worst alternative plan in case they are caught. This simple command, way back in the Garden of Eden, was a simple task. God gave to Adam and Eve, but because of man's desire for more, we choose to ignore the sign and proceeded at our own without taking heed of the prophet's advice until his wrath has passed by. The continuing disobedience of people in these very difficult battle times keeps the Lord's wrath to be continuing also. There is a losing situation. Anyone who insists to be outdoors equals a potential prey for the virus. If there are prey plus virus infection equals total annihilation, while disobedience plus virus containment equals no victim and no spread is human preservation. This is physical salvation. Honestly, I do not yet want to die just in case I am infected. I do not want to infect others, especially my family, and so I joined the fight to stay home. Lastly, what could possibly be the reason? Taking verse 21, which says, "See, the Lord is coming out of his dwelling to punish the people of the earth for their sins." Two things are true: that the virus came from animals in Wuhan as identified through laboratory testing, that the virus was genetically cultured by humans, but it got out of the secret military laboratory in Wuhan. Though the first point, it points out to human neglect due to poor sanitation, overpopulation, which gave an imbalance of food supply, which forced poor Wuhan locals to resort into hunting exotic animals. Second, it points out the same to human neglect due to human greediness of power. Because of this, the earth will disclose the bloodshed on it. The earth will conceal its slain no longer. As the spread continues due to human neglect to undergo and participate personal quarantine, infection and spread of the enemy continuously aggravates and death toll rises, as seen over the media. If this is not contained, then I repeat, Isaiah 24 verse 3 will be fulfilled. The earth will be completely laid waste and totally plundered. A more fearful situation is yet to come, when this will take even longer due to non-containment of the virus. People starts to go hungry. Those who have none will steal and kill for a meal. They steal and kill for a mask or for a bottle of alcohol. When you do not do your part or participate in this quarantine period and you get infected, you will either die or survive. Either you die quickly or survive, but have infected someone, then that someone infects someone. The infection comes back to you or your family. Well, no cases have been reported yet to have been infected twice, but there is a possibility. You are very well informed that there are no vaccine made yet for this virus. So be careful. Do not take the fight lightly, as the enemy cannot be seen by the naked eye. It cannot be felt by our human senses, even those with special mental telepathy or whatsoever powers they possessed. So let's participate in killing the virus. Let us not be possessed by the virus. We are against the enemy. As we often say, cleanliness is next to godliness. I advise you therefore to stay clean, be holy. The last verse says, "Enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed by." God bless you, and God bless you all.